Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa and I want to welcome you to my channel, Growing Wylder. So in this introduction video, I wanted to introduce myself and give you an idea of what to expect from this new YouTube channel. So I garden on Long Island in New York in the zone 7B. And I'm one of those people that really came to gardening during the pandemic. I'm an emergency medicine doctor, and I was graduating my residency program in 2020. So I had all these plans for travel. I was going to graduate in, what was it? Basically, July of 2020, I was graduating. I took a month, 6 weeks off before I planned to start my new job. And of course, my plan was to travel, relax, get to do a whole bunch of stuff that I hadn't really gotten to do during residency. But we all know what was going on during 2020. So, like pretty much everybody, I found myself at home. I really love being outside, so I was in the backyard all the time. And that's kind of how it started. There was really nothing going on in our backyard at the time. We have a bunch of dogs. They had taken over the backyard, basically. We had this old concrete slab that had been there for, maybe 30 years. Didn't really have any furniture, really no landscaping to speak of. And I found myself out there. We got, some cheaper furniture off of online, and I'm back there in the backyard. And that's really how it all started. We decided to kind of corral the dogs into one area for them to do their business so that we could regain the yard and actually use it for ourselves. And it really all started from there. The first thing that we planted was actually a tomato plant in a random hole that I had dug in an attempt to try and put up a chain link fence for the dogs myself. Learned that day how difficult it really can be to dig holes, especially when you have a bunch of mature trees and their roots going right under your soil. I think I spent over an hour trying to dig one hole. Did I get a foot? I don't know. It was pathetic, but it was deep enough that my aunt just kind of plopped a tomato plant in there. We did nothing for that plant. We didn't water it. We did nothing to it. But it grew a couple of tomatoes, actually. And I think that started the bug. So the next year, we started growing tomatoes and cucumber. No, not cucumbers that first year. I think it was just tomatoes and eggplant. Again, had no idea. Those plants actually did, not the eggplant, the tomatoes did really, really well. We had no knowledge of whether you should prune tomatoes, do the different kinds, determinate, indeterminate, nothing. So they grew wild. Bushes, I mean, they were huge. We got buckets and buckets and buckets of tomatoes. So many people were getting tomatoes from us. Family, friends, the neighbors, I mean, everybody. And that's really when I started getting into it. The eggplant didn't do well because we planted the eggplant right next to the tomatoes and they just got overshadowed. I think we got one eggplant that year. We also started some more landscaping in the backyard. It's sort of what I call our summer garden at this point because we did basically just what everybody else does. And we went to the garden center, found a bunch of plants that looked really nice that were blooming, crepe myrtles, hibiscus plants. What else did I get? I think I got some hydrangeas at that time. Just everything was willy-nilly. We put things where it was convenient. We had scrap material from other people's projects that they had done and made a little border. There was no garden planning. But that's sort of where I started. And throughout the last few years, I've gotten to learn more and more about gardening. I understand more about garden planning and landscape design. I understand more now about the importance of native plants and really trying to garden with, yes, my enjoyment in mind, but also the ecosystem and how what I'm doing is affecting the soil and the bugs and the plants and the fungi, just everything. So that's really why I entitled this channel Growing Wylder, because you guys are kind of just coming along with me on my gardening journey. And I'm still pretty young in gardening, I'm still learning things. I'm definitely still making mistakes. I'm definitely still killing plants, putting things in the wrong place, but we're learning and we're growing. And the wilder part is because, as I said, as I got to learn more and more about, kind of just started out as gardening, I got more interested in how it all connects, how it all connects with nature. How can I do this in a more sustainable and beneficial way for both myself and, again, the entire environment and the living creatures around me? So that's a little bit of the wilder part. So that's going to be the bulk of this channel, me going through my gardening journey. Right now, I'm still living in the family home. This is sort of my first garden, my starter garden. And this year, there's probably going to be a lot of changes to this garden because of what I've been learning. So we're going to be embarking on that. I also have a property that I bought in Brooklyn a few years ago that needs major renovation. And along with gardening, houses, and renovation, I'm one of those, I'm going to say a HGTV reformed addict, because I don't watch HGTV nearly as much as I used to, but I'm definitely one of those people. So real estate, housing, renovations, I'm very interested in that. I'm finally getting that project off the ground. So as that progresses, I'm going to take you guys along, because that's just part of my growing journey. Once that's done, I'll be moving there, and you guys will get to see me also. Now, at that point, I'll be able to start a garden completely from scratch. And it's going to be significantly smaller than what I'm used to here on Long Island, but I think that's going to be kind of fun. I get to do like my city, my town garden. So I'm excited for that when that finally gets done. And then whatever adventures that we have going forward. So that's what you can expect from me on this channel. You can be coming along with me as we learn, we grow, and hopefully get a little wilder. So I hope to see you all in the next video, and talk to you next time. Bye.